well, hey, this is a little bit different. You know, these guys were already kind of sitting on my couch when we were setting up, and I thought, you know what? Let's try discussing on my couch instead.
We're a bit too lazy to move anyway, so it's true.
Yeah, I think there's maybe slightly better lighting here, at least a little bit more atmospheric than there is at my dining table. So here we are, here to discuss, say it with me now,
Sonic the Hedgehog.
Share it.
Way to go for actually saying the full market.
You're welcome.
He's getting bucks for that. He gets to say Sonic the Hedgehog at least 4 times in the video to get paid.
Yeah.
Speaking of advertisers,
dude,
there are so many just name drops for companies in this movie.
Zillow.
Yep.
Olive
Garden.
Multiple times,
They
actually.
even used the freaking tagline, "When you're here, your family."
And it's just like, are you serious right now?
That was so blatant. Oh, but it was so kind of appropriately blatant.
Flash was in it.
Yeah, it's
Flash
like,
comics.
how much funding did they need to get from other companies to pay for the redesign of Sonic?
It was worth it. It was so worth it. I would
dude.
not have sat through that movie if they had used the old design.
It is amazing how much a simple, I mean, it's not simple. I'm sure it was very complicated and taxing on the animators, but
Absolutely.
something so subtle as like a change in a character's look can really impact the watchability of a movie.
The whole thing, honestly, the whole thing. Like, remember when we first watched the trailer and we were like, oh boy,
This looks so bad.
here we go.
It looked like the Tommy Wiseau of video game movies.
Yes.
Like I was in discussions on Discord and other places where people who don't even play video games were talking about how awful this looked. Like, it was amazing how horrible they messed it up for that first appearance. But now, I like it. I dig it.
Yeah.
The other thing is we're venturing into spoiler territory.
Yes.
So if you haven't watched it, turn this off, go watch it, and come
If
back.
you've seen the first trailer, you've been spoiled on 99% of the movie.
Unfortunately,
Yeah,
but
that's true.
even so, tread carefully. You have been warned as of right now.
The Tails look they nailed. I think that they got.
Going right into it.
No. I think that they got.
Starting with the credit scene.
Yeah.
No, but I think that they got the design going with the cartoon, like the Sonic design that's from like Super Smash Brothers and other 3D games.
They
That
nailed
was
it.
a smart move on their part. And I also just this weird like conspiracy theory about how they put out the bad Sonic as a way to get people to go, oh, you suck, and then the director going, bros, don't worry, I'm gonna fix it. And everybody was like, wow, we have to go see it. They're gonna fix it. The internet made a difference.
If that was the case, that is the smartest marketing I've ever heard of.
That's what I was
because it worked. That's why I'm here.
Seriously.
I felt like I had a reason to be here.
Yeah, and it's already tracking to make more money than Birds of Prey did in this first weekend. So, Birds of Prey didn't make too much.
Not the
so it's
highest
not saying
bar,
much, but I was totally expecting this movie to be garbage, even with the new trailer. And perhaps my reaction to that could just be a natural, progression of me thinking, well, I mean, the bar's set pretty low. It can't be that horrible, I guess.
It's a smorgasbord of bad ideas. Video game movie, Sonic video game movie, E.T. movie, so basically alien in a small town. Like, every single one of these awful ideas that we've seen a million B movies of, it all comes together and it works.
It works well enough, I think. Yeah.
I think it works because this movie doesn't take itself too seriously.
No, not
like
at all.
the Sonic crack in the whole movie about, I don't even remember, just dumb stuff. The whole movie he's making cracks about stuff, and then you have the little like when you're here, your family, like stupid just dialogue like that,
and all these pop culture references to things like Speed of all things. All these like obscure properties from the 90s, but
Keanu Reeves, he's an internet miracle or whatever.
He's a national treasure.
He's a national treasure.
And then he's going to something so incredibly modern it's going to be dated in 6 months. Like, oh, Amazon's going to be using these drones to deliver packages. Did you hear that? Stuff like that.
That's the problem with doing technology in any movie. Because as soon as they get the movie shot and edited and released, they're already like a year and a half behind on what latest technology is.
Murphy's Law.
It kind of works even in that way because this is Montana that it's set in. They're not going to have Amazon drones or anything, so it kind of works that Sonic, who is spending his whole life in Green Hills, Montana, is gonna be like,
Perfect fame.
yeah, that's absolutely
That's
part of that meta commentary that they were just talking about. It's so meta, and I love it.
I thought.
Yeah.
Did I lean over and tell you that was a little bit on the nose? Was that what was that?
I think it was. It was like in the very beginning. I couldn't quite remember what it was, but
when it's Green Hills, Montana on the sign, I was like, oh, that's a little on the nose. But I said it like way loud, and I felt bad.
yeah.
But I was like,
Well, I think you're good because there were some kids in
oh
that
my
theater
gosh,
that would not shut up.
Oh yeah,
That was the true Sonic experience right there. I tell you what. Oh,
I swear,
man.
there were some kids that were like screeching in that theater louder than the speakers. Which it's fine. Like
it's a kids movie.
It's a kids movie. There are going to be kids that are loud, but it's just funny.
It's like when the kid was running at the very end. He was doing
Oh,
sprints
yeah.
on the row. I was like,
There's this kid that sprinted onto our row, and I did a double take. Like, oh, someone's not watching their kids.
One of the kids was trying to do a drum beat on the wall right behind me, and I was like, all right, I can dig it. Get some natural percussion for the movie.
It seemed like that one couple that was there for very serious reasons got annoyed.
the ones next to us. Am I
Yeah.
right? Oh yeah.
Yeah, because Sonic is just serious business,
Oh
guys.
jeez.
And of course, the three of us and our other friend who came, we were having fun with it. So
I couldn't have been bothered in the least. I just had fun. Like
I had fun
that
with
was the low expectation that I had, and I was happy with it.
So was I. I went in with like, oh man, I hope we got passes to go to it. So it wasn't like we spent money, but still, it's like you don't want to waste an hour and a half or however long this movie was. But I don't feel like it was a waste. I thought that what did you say? Jim Carrey's back is going to be broken from carrying this movie.
Yeah, his back must be hurting from carrying this movie so hard. He was the center of attention, and he thrived in it. Oh, he was so much fun.
It was almost vintage Jim Carrey, like carrying the movie. It was
they
really
plucked him straight out of
entertaining.
the 90s.
Seriously, it was really funny. And he got me right with the Charlotte's Web thing. It was
the
the
best joke
most
in the movie.
perfect part and sold me on him for the rest of the movie. I was like, oh boy.
And as good as that initial joke was, that really sold him, the scene of him in his little laboratory dancing around,
Yes.
I was
absurd.
I was at peace with myself. That was amazing.
What made it even better is when he's interrupted by his henchman. I forget what his name is.
Dr. Stone.
Dr. Stone.
Agent Stone.
Yeah. He's just interrupted like, ah! He's like, I made you a latte, sir. Yes, I love the way you make them. Thank you.
What are you, crazy? Of course I want a latte. I love the way you make it.
He was so over the top, but as Justin was telling me in the car ride, like, he wasn't overbearing. At no point was I like, okay, that's too much. Like, we tone it down.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it was just the right amount of crazy, hectic Jim Carrey.
It wasn't Dumb and Dumber, but it was like The Mask, but dialed back to from 10 to 7 or 8.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
I think that's to Jim Carrey's credit, of course, because he is an actor that definitely can be overbearing. But there were some scenes for me, personally, that kind of went a little bit too far with the Jim Carrey-isms, because I'm not, as high on him as some other people are, but he was enjoyable in the movie, and definitely I think he gave the performance that was most committed.
Absolutely.
Because
Everybody.
Yeah, because James Marsden's seemed to be having fun, but there's nothing special about anything he's doing, nor any other real performer in the movie for that matter. But I thought Ben Schwartz did a good job as Sonic, though.
I thought he did but I'm always just gonna see him as John Ralphio from Parks and Rec. So he's always gonna be John Ralphio. But I thought he did good, as good as you can do as you're an animated character,
I think they're hitting it on hitting the nail on the head there. Like, nothing was really super special about this movie. Like, Jim Carrey's performance was the standout, but there was no part that I was like, wow, this is something I'll need to remember forever for the rest of my life.
Either for good or bad reasons.
Exactly. It was very average, but that wasn't a bad thing for me. It wasn't. Nothing brought me down. I just had an enjoyable time. I went to the movies and watched a good, decent movie.
It's
You know what's funny about this though? We've come off of last year where we had Endgame, we had Star Wars, we had a bunch of movies that were like way high expectations, where you came in and you were like, this has got to be good because of what's been going on with these movies, right? And this one, besides maybe the thing where they were like, we're gonna change the thing of the guy, or we're gonna change the look of Sonic, there hasn't been really like any expectations set besides, oh, it's a Sonic movie. And I think that works to its credit.
the way I see it, you know, kind of along the lines of what you both are saying, but more so Jared. I see this as like a Taco Bell movie, if you want to call it that.
Perfect
where it's
analogy.
like, it is perfectly digestible. And obviously it's not made with like, it's not
the most authentic. It's
That's
not the meal that you're gonna give 5 stars.
Yeah, and for that matter, there are going to be some people who consume it and will not like it. It may do some horrible things to their bodies.
It might give them
But-
diarrhea.
But I like Taco Bell, so I was okay with it, even though I consider it to be on par with like Detective Pikachu from last year, where it's like, you know, it's a video game movie that does enough to qualify itself as a perfectly fine and decent blockbuster, but not one that I'm really gonna feel compelled to ever watch again, I guess. Unless it's on and it's already there. It's like, okay, it's Sonic, I don't mind this.
Or just watch the best parts on YouTube again. Just
That too. Yeah.
Which, speaking of best parts, one part that was really funny for me was the bar, where they totally ripped off Quicksilver's thing.
That's what I was trying to comment to you guys. It totally ripped that off.
They totally ripped it off, and I don't think it was a bad thing though, because Quicksilver's was like, I don't know, this one just felt a little bit more cartoony and funny to me.
Yeah.
And Quicksilver's is like supposed to be funny, and it is, and it worked. And
There
I
are
thought,
actual stakes there.
yeah, and I thought Sonic's worked. I didn't mind it, but I was like, okay, this is a Quicksilver scene, and I almost felt like it was going to show up in the movie anyway.
Yeah.
For me, I've never really associated with Quicksilver because that exact kind of scene has been done in films and TV shows for decades now. And so, like, having someone who goes fast, like, that scene has to be there.
Yeah.
Like, if
I mean, it was in Over the Hedge, for goodness
It
sakes.
was in Over the Hedge, it was in Futurama, it was in a whole bunch of different TV shows. Any time that you have someone who's fast, Justice League with the Flash,
Oh, yeah.
like, you have to have that scene where everything slows down. And the good thing about it is they didn't use it too much. There's only like 2 or 3 scenes where time slowed down and you really got to see how fast Sonic could be.
Mm-hmm. And I think the reason why it worked in the context of the bar scene is because even though while you're watching it, it's like, okay, we've seen this a lot in other movies, but the payoff, once you actually see it play out in real time, was actually really funny.
Yes.
It was legitimately funny. And then in the scene later on, where I think it's when Robotnik is firing all those missiles and he's trying to save the 2 main characters, just the facial reaction, the way that Jim Carrey's face looks, gold.
He acted out and it was so good. They just let him use all of his wacky expressions. Oh, it was so good to see Jim Carrey back at his full potential here.
On an objective level, though, there are certainly a lot of things that you can say about this movie that don't really work. I think, personally, the second act drags, just because I feel like that's the point of the movie where the writers were like, okay, what do we need to do to pad this movie out so that it's not like a 45-minute fan film, which is scenes that are enjoyable but don't really feel like they're really amounting to much.
The rubber band ball.
Yeah,
The party
that's a
in the
perfect
hotel
example.
room.
It's stuff to put in the trailers. And that's like
Yeah.
everything we saw tonight, the best parts and the worst parts, it was all in the trailer.
And then you can really nitpick this movie, honestly. Like, one of the funniest parts to me was in the sequence where, I almost blanked on his name. Robotnik is chasing Sonic through the various parts of the world, particularly the wonders of the world. They're flying through the Great Wall of China, right? Which normally has a whole bunch of tourists in it every single day. But he just goes through there and there's nobody, and it's like, oh, okay, conveniences!
Yep.
It's a flashback to our Star Wars videos. Convenience is.
Everything is very convenient.
This is a very convenient, predictable, safe movie that follows the E.T. Template very closely. But, I mean, it's short, it doesn't overstay its welcome, and I think just on that level, if you're watching it to watch Jim Carrey, or to see if the Sonic redesign made a difference, it does.
You should watch it.
Yeah.
It was good. I had fun. I'll reiterate with Jared. I had a great time watching this movie. I thought it was so much fun. It's just a good time. I had a good time.
I don't think I'd ever need to watch this movie again.
No.
I think watching that once was perfectly acceptable to me. I had a fun time at the movies with my friends, and what else do I really need from it?
Yeah.
Like, it's not great, it's not bad at all. Nothing really struck me as, wow, that sucked. Nothing took me out of the fun that I was having.
It's true.
And I just had a good time. I recommend it.
Yeah. And it's also one of those things where it's like, if it's on and someone's already watching it, I'm not going to complain if that is what we're going to watch. It's like, okay, it's enjoyable. I'll sit here. Sonic's doing his thing and Jim Carrey's talking about egg sacks.
Check it out.
Seriously, we probably referenced it a bunch in this video, but that exact line, that whole part was like, some of it was in the trailer and we're like, okay, calm down, Jim Carrey. And then he talked about Charlotte's Web and sold me on him being Robotnik for the rest of the movie.
From that moment on.
Freaking
the best
fantastic.
No one did a bad job. I can't say there's anyone that I disliked in this movie, but Jim Carrey, he did a good job.
Nailed it.
He did such a good job.
He's easily the standout among the actual actors on screen. Thank you all for watching this video. We appreciate you checking out our roundtable discussions as always, even though we're not around a round table. But, well, there's a coffee table right there out of frame. But, and it's also shaped as an oval, so
Yes.
take that as you will.
It's round.
The Knights of the...
That was an oval! It has to be in a circle! Well, maybe he just doesn't like you. Move over!
Anyway,
That's a great episode.
we referenced SpongeBob enough on this show, but thanks again for watching. We look forward to being able to do another roundtable discussion whenever that is, and we hope to see you next time.
Gotta go
Gotta go fast.
Gotta go fast.